What's up, Vanity Fair? You got the RZA right here from the almighty Wu-Tang Clan. And today, we're going to be talking about Kung Fu films that either we sampled for our production or that inspired our lyrics. So let's have some fun, yo. Hey, yo, this movie, The Master of the Flying Guillotine, yo. The Flying Guillotine became what I used as my choice of lyrical weapon. So when you hear the song, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with.
I start off and I be tossing and forcing. My style is awesome. Causing more family feuds than Richard Dawson. And the survey said, you're dead. The fatal flying guillotine chops off your f***ing head. So basically, Wu-Tang, our tongue is like a sword. But the guillotine could beat the sword, yo. And that's why I chose that to be my weapon. Well, the cool thing about this part here, the flying guillotine hasn't come in yet, right? And we have one of the Lau brothers here with the 3 sectional staff fighting against the pole fighter. The Lau clan actually becomes the best directing team in martial arts. And the funny thing about this movie is that the guy who just got killed, Philip Cole, later goes on to be a big short brother movie star playing the Lizard as one of the Venoms. And we'll get to that later. The Executioners from Shaolin, one of my favorite films of all time. And it follows the story of Hung Si Quan, who is the Hung Gar founder, fighting the priest Pa Mei, also known as the White Lotus.
My tiger kung fu is better than yours.
If you listen to the Wu-Tang Clan song, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with, it starts off with Tiger Style.
Tiger Style. Yo.
Well, that's from this movie.
Tiger style.
This film, you know, really inspired us. And when you watch movies like Kill Bill, which I later went on to score, you'll see this character, Priest Pa Mei, pops up. Wow, this scene here is one of the pinnacle scenes of the film. Priest Pa Mei is no joke, and he's mastered the technique of moving his weak spot at will. Now, Hung Gar is a real form of martial arts, the animal fist. In fact, the 5-pattern animal fist is used in so many kung fu movies, whether it's from Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, and even in Tony Jaa films, this technique has been incorporated. It's really a foundation of Shaolin style. Uh-oh, look at this. Got him in the heart and the nuts. Uh-oh, he's going for the nuts. He's going for the nuts. No nuts, kid. He moved the nuts. I don't know how he moved the nuts. He moved the nuts.
Can't you find it?
The 36 Chambers of Shaolin. This is one of my favorite films of all time. I've seen it over 200 times and more to go. This film, which was released in America as Master Killer, not only gives the name of one of our Wu-Tang Clan members,
We have an APB on an MC killer. Looks like the work of a master.
but it also gives us the partial title to our first album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, which we actually took from Enter the Dragon, which is another favorite movie of mine, Bruce Lee. We consider him to be a minor prophet. This film is directed by Lau Kung Lung, like I said, one of the martial art legends, but it also stars one of the greatest martial art actors since Bruce Lee, Gordon Liu. Now, Gordon Liu plays the hero here, the Master Killer. And the scene that inspired me the most after watching all the action was the scene where he says he wants to go to the highest level. And he walks in and the monk is like, without wisdom, there is no gain. And that hit me when I heard that, and it sent me to start researching Buddhism and finding Kung Fu books and things. But the beautiful thing is, years later, once again, the blessing of the universe, I'm doing the film Man with the Iron Fist, and Gordon Liu plays the abbot in my movie. For me, there's been various samples from this movie.
Skills worthy of a general. And if you want to fight, fight with me.
We have only 35 chambers. There is no 36.
So this is a scene here where he first enters the first chamber, which is simply called Crossing the Water. What I love about the character is that while the other monks are sleeping, he trains by himself. He does it with a hand of a leg and is holding his own leg, doing the Kid and Play dance. And that movie did, trust me, it became part of breakdancing.
Wanna go to work on your fellas too. Make you wanna do the things we do.
Five Deadly Venoms, directed by Chang Che. This film right here is actually the film that made me become a Kung Fu fanatic. You could hear the sample in a song we got called The Mystery of Chess Boxing, where it starts off.
Tone style is immensely strong and immune to nearly any weapon. When it's properly used, it's almost invincible.
Watching this film, the Toad character is the one we all root for. He's the one that you wish you were, the one with the invincible iron skin. Now here's the Snake.
Now, number 2, practice the snake style. He was known as the snake spirit.
This technique right here was crazy because most snake styles was used like this with Jackie Chan. But here he used the cobra, the mouth and the tail, and having them both act together. That really only appeared in maybe 2 movies ever to see the snake style done like this. I think it was this one and another film called The Deadly Challenger. Look at that. Wow, and I seen that as a kid. You gotta imagine that. I'm a 10-year-old kid watching this, yo. And I seen a guy just lay on bed of nails. It was hard laying on my box spring, you know what I mean? So anyway, most of the films that we really enjoyed was Shaw Brothers films. Shaw Brothers had big budgets. It was like a studio lot. And all their films had a studio quality production. All of a sudden, here comes this independent, low budget film called The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Now, being a chess guy and a chess fanatic, I was like, I gotta see this movie. And it became my favorite. There's a character in this film whose name is Ghostface Killer.
Huh? Ghostface Killer!
And he's one of the most ruthless villains to ever touch the screen. And so when it came to Wu-Tang, I was like, who is that guy who everybody's gonna be scared of based on their lyrical content? And that name became Ghostface Killer's name. And he put on a mask like the 5 Deadly Venoms. And he came in, and when you watch him in The Mystery of Chess Boxing, hip-hop was never the same.
Speaking of the devil's sight, knows the God, get your shit right. Make a trife and yo, I killed you in a past life.
And you'll find out on Ghostface album, you'll hear some of the quotes from this movie.
The sky is high, the cloud is low. But my water technique is hard to beat. But the earth can absorb water. Hype, hype.
The 10 Tigers of Kwantung. Here in this film, there's a conflict between these young men. They never settle the beef. Like these young guys can't beat each other. But then the OG comes in at the end and kills the villain in 3 seconds. Me and Memphis always say that's how our lyrics gotta be. As we get older, we gotta be able to get on the mic and in 4 bars, rip a motherfucker's ass. Excuse my language.
Wu-Tang martial expert. There's not many who can match up with him.
Now, this film has a great sample in it.
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
That's the sample right there. And the Wu-Tang guy pulls out a sword, right? And he does the Wu-Tang style, right? With his sword. But the crazy thing is, when he gets defeated, he then pulls out a weapon that I only seen in one movie, this movie, and you'll never see it again in no other Kung Fu movie. And it's a gold statue. I don't know where the production designer thought of this. I don't know if this weapon ever exists. If somebody could make me one, I would appreciate it. It's the coolest thing. 10 Tigers of Kwantung. So Shogun Assassin, which is the intro to the GZA's album Liquid Swords.
When I was little, my father was famous. He was the greatest samurai in the empire.
Most of our influence came from Kung Fu movies. Sometimes there's a lot of swinging, a lot of blocking, but in Japanese samurai movies, it's one stroke kills. Bing, stroke, bing, stroke. When it came time to incorporate a film into the Wu-Tang world, I chose this film to represent the GZA. His lyrics are straight to the point.
Your technique is magnificent.
Don't be afraid. Bad dreams are only dreams. Choose the sword, and you will join me. Choose the ball,
and you join your mother.
So just when the Kung Fu genre was slowing down and a lot of films, Shaw Brothers wasn't making as many, this group from Taiwan came out with Shaolin versus the Lama, which is a trilogy, actually. In this film, you see a display of shadow boxing.
Allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin,
the special technique of shadow boxing.
Allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin.
Special technique of shadow boxing.
But I'll never forget being in the movie theater when the shadow boxing technique came out. Man, the whole audience just started screaming. Wow. So after Mystery of Chess Boxing stayed reigning champion as my favorite movie, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang comes out. And this changes my whole martial art ideology. It became my favorite film, still holds the title tied with 8-Diagram Pole Fighter. The way they used their sword in this movie and the way they used the Chi Kung fist was really unseen before now. This film was actually directed by the actor Gordon Liu, which is crazy. I mean, all the years he played as an actor and his brother directed him, he decides to direct his own film. You know, it's a lot of parables in this film.
A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, right? Before you move.
That's the truth, yo.
Come on, give him the sword. If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous.
Wu-Tang Clan name is pulled from Shaolin versus Wu-Tang because of the best sword technique that they showed, and our reason that our tongue is like a sword. If you think you're the best lyricist, you must be using the Wu-Tang sword. And so we're the Wu-Tang Clan. We felt we were the best lyricists in hip-hop. But the film that also helped cement our brotherhood was the 8-Diagram Pole Fighter. Because here's a movie about brothers who sacrificed themselves for their country, for their family, and relentlessly, against all odds, fought to right the name of their family. We would cut class and hang out in my house and watch. This film actually made some of us well up, you know what I mean? And this scene here is the final scene where he's fighting against a general who actually framed this family.
Where's my sister?
I'm standing on a
8-Diagram Pole Fighter. It's the name of Wu-Tang's, which was supposed to be our final album, the 8 Diagrams. In the old days, you know, sampling any signal into a sampler was a headache. To get it from a VCR was the worst because you had to have about 3 plugs because samplers only took 1/4-inch plugs. So you actually would have to go from your VCR into your mixer, then out of your mixer headphone jack into your sampler. And then you'll get a very distorted signal. And then if you missed it, you gotta rewind it, right? And try to find it because the sampler only sampled X amount of seconds. So it was a challenging way to produce, you know what I mean? So yo, this has been the RZA, Vanity Fair. I wanna thank you guys for inviting me. And Wu-Tang forever. Bong bong.